Need a convincing Saul Goodman voiceover for your YouTube video? Look no further. With my expertise in mimicking Saul's speech style, I can deliver the perfect impression. Whether you're creating a parody or just want to add some spice to your content, you better call Saul.
Alright guys, now you are probably wondering, well, what the hell did you just see? Like Saul Goodman, text-to-speech? Well, let me connect you all the dots here. So, while everyone is talking about ways you can make money with ChatGPT, which is very true, I actually used ChatGPT to come up with the text for the text-to-speech software. The overall point of this video is to give you guys this idea of using this tool called ElevenLabs Voice AI to offer narration and voiceover services on Fiverr. So here it is, this is the concept, and I want to now, in the next section of the video, break down exactly how I am working with ElevenLabs to deliver anywhere from 50 to 1,000 and more words in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. And the other cool thing about ElevenLabs is you can essentially use anyone's voice for the software to recognize it and to mimic it. Whether it's my voice, whether it's Saul Goodman's voice from Better Call Saul, whether it's Johnny Depp's voice, the possibilities are endless. All you need to do is just go on YouTube, type an interview of the person in a quiet setting, download the video, make a few edits, and come up with up to 5 minutes of quiet and simple speech of the person who you're trying to replicate for the voiceover AI. But this is the concept. I have been doing it for about 30 days or so, maybe a little less, and you also get a lot of returning clients, which is presenting a very scalable opportunity for you. So without further ado, let's jump into my screen over there and check it all out.
Holy shit! Did you see that?
Alright guys, now let's get to basics and see exactly how ElevenLabs is, how it looks like, the features, the subscription cost, because there is a small subscription cost that you'll have to pay. But the good news is it will very well be worth it, because you will get orders on Fiverr and they will cover those expenses and costs, okay? So here's the UI. It's relatively simple, which is what I really like. It's not complicated at all. Here in the settings, you can essentially have all your cloned voices. The cloned voices is something that you go here to the voice lab. The cloned voices is a sample that is used from like a YouTube video for whether it's my voice or, like I showed you guys, the Saul Goodman's voice from Breaking Bad, or whoever else voice you are asked to replicate. You know, very often on Fiverr, people will be asking you to replicate kind of like a British accent or maybe an American accent for their YouTube video. And just like overall narration purposes, you know, for a hobby or whatever project that they are doing. But mostly that will be for YouTube videos from what I'm seeing so far, okay? So as I mentioned, Voice Lab, this is where you will see your voices. Your voices is something that you will be using for voice cloning purposes specifically. You can also do what they're doing. I have not done that just yet. They do have two sides: voice design, which is design entirely new voices using their generative model, or you can do the voice cloning, which I find to work the best, because people very often they give you a sample of the style, the voice, the accent that they're looking for, and this is exactly what you will be mostly using, okay? So instant voice cloning, this is the name, you know, you just type whatever, like maybe American accent sample for XYZ, something like that. This is where you would drag and drop the file for the sample specifically. So once you download the MP3 file, or once you edit it in the iMovie, for example, if you're on the Mac or using your whatever software, this is where you click on the MP3 sample file. The sample should be, as they mentioned, they don't mention it yet because you have to upload the file. So we can do that shortly. But overall direction is 5 minutes, not longer than 5 minutes. They don't recommend 5 minutes, and they do recommend the sample to be in a quiet setting, okay? So the voice of the person who you're trying to replicate from a YouTube video, for example, it should be kind of like an interview or maybe a speech. No background music ideally, and if it's an interview, it's best to edit the video or edit the voices, so you cut out the voice of the interviewer and only leave the voice of the person who's being interviewed in the video, okay? But in some cases, maybe you can find a YouTube video where that person is just talking and talking and talking and it's quiet, which is the ideal setting for this to work, okay? Yeah, so I'll show you guys this in more detail in a bit, but let's see the subscription costs, okay? So I do have the creator subscription. I started with the starter for $5 a month, but then I started getting more orders and more characters is needed to complete those orders, because they were asking me to do orders for like 500 or 1000 words and more. Yeah, and also made this calculator, which you guys are welcome to download in the description of this video, so I'll give you guys it for free. Basically, you know, a guy in the Fiverr, he will tell you, oh, well, my script is like 800 words, okay? So because I do charge $5 for 500 words, my math is relatively simple, and this is actually very, very competitive, because I can charge very competitive prices because I barely spend any time doing anything. I'm not paying any professional artists for voiceovers, right? I'm just working with the software tool to do all of that, okay? So he quoted like $800, right? 800 words, then the calculator using the plan, the creator plan for 22 a month. Why 22 a month? Because creator plan, this is the only plan which is the cheapest plan that allows you to pay 30 cents per 1,000 characters, okay? You do get 100,000 characters included for free every month, but once they run out, then you have to pay 30 cents. Okay, so I'm just kind of already doing my math, so I know exactly once I run out from my 100,000 characters, which I haven't run out yet, but once I will, I do need to know how much I should send an offer for the project on Fiverr for this specific quote amount, right? If he needs 800, then I would still send him the price for $5, because my minimum price on Fiverr is $5. But if he, for example, needs let's say like 2,400 words, right, then this price would be most likely around $3.38 for this, right, for 30 cents for 1,000 characters, right? I also have my average character per word, and this math is all based on that, and this is also 5 possible revisions. Why do I have this right here for 5 possible revisions? Is because there might be some portions of the text where it still might sound a little bit like AI robotic, so you kind of need to give yourself at least 5 possible revisions for projects like this, especially if your client has huge scripts over 1,000 words and more. It gets more complex, and there is a high chance that the AI might have some sections that sound a little bit artificial and not natural, okay? Yeah, but in the end, I would still send him the base price for $24. This is just more for me, so I know how much approximately I might be spending if I do have to pay for more characters. But the base price I would send him is $24, because this is exactly my base price for $500, and the math is very easy. You know, you can customize it using this calculator here, okay? So let's look at a live example here. So this guy right here, we had a conversation. I'm not going to show you the entire conversation just for the sake of time, but here he sent me the sample voice that he is looking for.
So it's the 1800s, and you're not feeling so great. You've been doing a lot of hard labor for very little money.
And yada yada yada, okay? So I'm not going to show you the entire video, but I actually already had a voice that's ready and similar for a very similar project, and
that were to beset the economies of Europe and the United States, and even proposed measures which, if heeded...
This is the voice, because I already used a similar voice for another project, so I just proposed him to use this voice. I sent him the sample based on the text that he sent.
YouTube automation is the best way to earn thousands of dollars in profit
This is AI.
without even showing your face. An online way of earning fortunes just by sitting and letting others do the hard work. But
so you guys get the idea. I sent him the sample, then we had more conversations, and then he basically sent me the Google Docs for the text, and I basically used the AI software to convert all this text into that voice that you guys have seen just 30 seconds ago, okay? So yeah, then I sent him the offer. So here is the order that he placed. Basically what happens here is because I already had my sample here, it saved me some time from having to kind of do a little bit of editing. But for example, if I didn't have that sample, what I would do is I would find something like this, a video with a narration where the narrator's voice is quiet, there is no background music, he's just talking, okay? So here's the video.
Did at the time might have warded off an era of worldwide depression.
And as you can see, he's just talking, there is no background sounds, no background music. So what we're gonna do here, just download the video. There is YouTube downloader, I copied the URL, and there's gonna be like ads everywhere because it's a free tool. So so you just copy it in whatever format, it doesn't matter because the sound quality will still be relatively fine. Why I'm doing this is because if you're on a Mac, you can use iMovie. In iMovie, for example, you can do very simple and very basic edits. That's all it literally takes to do all of this, okay? So let me see here. This is where it starts without any music or background noise, okay? So I would cut this portion. So I'm just gonna edit this right here. And here it is. It's almost 5 minutes, that's perfect. So I'm going to stop it right here on iMovie. As you can see, it's very simple, very basic. I'm just going to increase the volume a little bit. It's a little quieter, so I'm just going to increase it just a little tiny bit more.
He spends 80%.
So it's more clear for the AI tool to recognize everything, so it's not too quiet. So now I'm just gonna go export file, and I'm not gonna do audio only, MP3. I export it, and for example, I would name it British Voice Business Channel Sample, right? Okay, so it finished exporting. Here it is.
He spends 80% of his day reading, so
here's the sample. So we go back to ElevenLabs. Where is it? ElevenLabs, here it is. And what you're gonna do, you go to Voice Lab, like I showed you guys earlier, you click Add Voice, Instant Voice Cloning, British Sample Business Video Type for YouTube. And then you would click this guy, British Voice Sample, and you add the voice. Okay, so this is how you will add the voice from a YouTube video sample, which is what I recommend doing, because people on Fiverr, they will be sending you YouTube samples, or if they're not sending, I suggest you to ask them to send you a sample. Okay, so let's find that one. Here it is. So you just click use and you give it text. Okay, so in this specific example, I'm just going to use the exact same text that I showed you in the beginning of the video, just to show you guys how it sounds, okay? Because this concept is pretty much identical. You just need to replace this text with whatever text that the client sent you. Okay, so voice settings. Now, the tool recommends you to do a more variable voice for longer text, basically. So if you have like 1,500 and more words, right, you would definitely want to do it more variable, so there is more energy, it sounds more organic and natural. But I still prefer to do like 40% of something for even shorter text, just so it sounds more human and natural and less hints of AI ever, okay? And I do like the similarity to be 90. You can experiment and make it more similar, more variable, but again, it says here, if you jack up these values all the way to high here and all the way to more variable, then you guys will most likely have some artifacts, quote unquote. And artifacts meaning like parts of speech will be a little bit weird, or there might even be some weird sound effects like tapping on a microphone. I don't know why, but I guess they just do this little funky stuff, okay? So let's just see exactly how it sounds. And you can see the quota remaining. These are the free characters that you get for the month. I'm going to sacrifice 276 just for the sake of this video to show you guys. I'm obviously not going to redo that 1000 plus words text that the client sent me before and that I already did before, but just for the proof of concept, I want to redo this exact text that I showed in the beginning of the video using this voice, okay? So let's click generate.
Need a convincing Saul Goodman voiceover for your YouTube video? Look no further. With my expertise in mimicking Saul's speech style, I can deliver the perfect impression. Whether you're creating a parody or just want to add some spice to your content, you better call Saul.
Yeah, so he is pretty British, as you can see, and this is the sample, right?
His views on Soviet Russia, on the decline of laissez-faire.
And I mean, it doesn't have to be the sample that I provided from that specific video, because I kind of think his voice, I don't know if it's natural or he also uses something like that, but maybe you can find even a more organic, more human voice, even though I think that guy is human, but who knows, maybe he's doing an automation channel using the same tool. But you guys get the concept, right? How it can be applied. So what I did here, just to show you that I'm not making any of this up, here's the order, right? So basically I converted his entire sample that he shared to me in the Google document. So let's click these guys so you can see that I'm not making any of this up. He paid $20 for this. I did not spend anything at all because I had my free characters provided by ElevenLabs, so zero spent. And let's see how it sounded.
When tech giant Apple's CEO Steve Jobs stepped down in August 2011 and ultimately chose Tim Cook as...
And so it goes, okay? This was the second text that he sent from the Google Doc.
MIT's robot cheetah is gaining reputation and popularity because of its robotic mechanics and incredible speed of 28.3 miles per hour.
Yeah, that was the second text. So he did say that part of the audio for roughly 20 seconds did sound a little bit artificial, so I did fix that. This is why I exactly say sometimes you have to factor in for revisions, especially if you run out of your free credits for the month, okay? So I did fix that portion, and the way that you fix something like that, you know, you just once again reinsert the portion that sounds a little bit robotic. Say, for example, it was this portion right here. Then you just go back to ElevenLabs Voice AI. Then you reinsert the text that you need the software to redo, just that part. You do not need to reinsert all 1000 words and run the tool again. No. That would be a waste of credits and your time. Only reinsert that one paragraph that sounded a little bit artificial, and then you once again generate, download it, and then you delete this one and you reinsert the updated one here, right? So this would be replaced with another version, a better sounded version of the paragraph that sounded a little bit fake, and you fixed it, and now it doesn't sound fake, and then you can keep using the rest of the text that the software already generated for you without sacrificing any credits, okay? So that's exactly what I did here. I resent it to him, he accepted it, and he left me 5 stars, and he will order it again because he has more scripts on the way. And I had another buyer who I have actually been working for almost a month now, who gave me at least 6 orders, okay? So yeah, this is for the most part the ElevenLabs AI, how you guys can use the tool to offer narration and voiceover services. And by the way, the reason why I decided to do narration services is because, well, the tool itself, but the second part of why is I'm a seller on Fiverr. I have been a seller on Fiverr for many years now. I have also been a buyer on Fiverr. And if we go to fiverr.com, let me show you right now, fiverr.com, okay? One of the services that you see being offered on the main page is voiceover services. And I started listing the gigs. I listed 7 gigs because I created a brand new Fiverr account. So it's brand new, no reviews. And I listed 7 gigs, which is the limit you can do as a new seller on the Fiverr account, unless you hit like $500 in sales or more, I forget. Then you also need to make sure you maintain your 5-star or the completion rate, all that stuff, right? Okay, so 7 gigs, and then I started getting views and clicks, and people were reaching out to me. And you know, I saw that people are really charging like 20, 25, 125, just crazy amounts of money. And with this tool, you can pretty much eliminate all of these people who are charging a lot of money just because you have this software tool that allows you to do this labor without outsourcing any resources or spending too much time on it. So I do hope you have found this video helpful. If you did, do consider smashing that like button, subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell. You guys know all of this. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Guys, and I forgot to mention one important thing. In your Fiverr gig description, do make sure to mention that you are a voice artist and that people who order from you need to obtain a respective commercial rights license. Because since they will be most likely in some cases asking you to possibly try and impersonate a voice of a specific individual who might be pretty famous, they need to have that respective license, and if they do somehow get in trouble, they should be responsible because they were using the voice without any license. So protect yourself, make sure you mention that in your Fiverr gig description, and I do hope this helps too. So good luck, and I'll see you in the next one.